Hey guys, it's Rucha and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to discuss about 8 things successful artists refuse to do. So let's get started. The highest achieving artists live by a different set of rules for themselves. There are so many common trappings in a creative career. It's easy to get caught up in expectations, prestige, and comparison. What the most successful artists have found after going through all of these same emotions is that refusing to fall victim to these mindsets is the key to their advancement. In fact, there are some things they simply refuse to put up with their careers. Actions, people, and habits that are toxic that we may not even realize to not only our creativity but the success of our business. Luckily, we can learn from the artists who've been there, artists who've seen how detrimental these things can be to a career and vow never to give them a second thought. Number 1. They don't compare themselves to other artists online. Comparisons can do one of two things: stifle your creativity or steal your joy. Every single artist is at a different place in his or her career. Everyone has their own journey filled with challenges and trumps. And more than likely, we only witness the trumps, the end result, the incredible artwork. Don't worry about those other artists. There is no one path to success. Instead of focusing on how you stack up next to someone else, invest that energy into comparing your recent work with the work you made 6 months ago, a year ago, or even 5 years ago. Have you grown? Because that's what really matters. Only compare yourself to farmer yourself. And when you inevitably see another's work, don't panic. Take a deep breath and simply appreciate it for what it is. Let it inspire you to move forward, not stunt your growth with anxiety. Number 2. They refuse to be a one-trick pony. It may not be the good news you were hoping for, but I'm just going to say it. Successful artists have to master more than just art. In this line of work, you need to be a creator, an entrepreneur, and marketing professional, a sales expert, an inventory manager, and so much more. And even in your creative field, there is always more to learn if you hope to progress artistically. Some artists get hung up on this realization, wishing it wasn't true, almost differently saying, I'm an artist, all I need to know is art. But in reality, that's just a fear talking. The truth of the matter is, successful artists never stop learning. You don't have to be perfect, you don't have to know everything all at once, but you do have to keep an open mind and devote your life to always learning something new. So, whether you read books, follow art business blogs, or participate in workshops or join an artist association, it's a step in the right direction. Number 3. They don't make excuses. If you're like any other artist in the world, you probably have said it to yourself at one time along something the lines of, I can't go to the studio today because I'm too busy, / too heartbroken, / my family needs me too much, or something like that. And you know what? It feels good to do that. It feels justified and reasonable. Like you're protecting yourself, but over time you will see that it's not helping. Again, it's that the pesky little fear trying to keep you from living out your dreams. In the end, it's the artists who put the work that get somewhere with their artwork. There's no way around it. So if you start to feel the excuses creep up, begin anyway and start small. The more you make, the more confidence you will gain. You will work through the big problems and small, and every time you do, you will realize that there's nothing to fear. Number 4. They refuse to work all the time. Sure, you have to show up at the studio even when you don't want to do the work. But the long hours in the studio, constantly working with your hands, feeling the stress of running an art business, these demands can't help but take a toll on your health. Creative burnout is just not a myth. You can't make your best work if you aren't investing in your body and mind as well. We have seen artists sacrifice both of these in the name of their craft. but you need your body to the most basic levels to create your work and your mind in the right space to be inspired. Successful artists know that self-care is not selfish. You may be the boss in the art studio, but there is no reason to be so hard on yourself. Isn't that why you wanted to avoid the typical 9 to 5 job in the first place? Make time for stretching and exercise, go for walks, stay hydrated, cook healthy meals, and have conversations with your peers, family, and friends. You can even leave the studio every now and then. This will only help you to get in a better space to create. They don't let others define them or their success. Eleanor Roosevelt, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, he said it best. Do what you feel in your heart to be right, for you will be criticized anyway. As an artist, you have a viewpoint to be told and a style all your own. You might want everyone to like your work, but that's not going to happen. Bad critiques are inevitable, so is rejection. In fact, it's better when not everyone likes your work. It means that you're getting at something interesting and something different. It's really scary putting yourself out there, especially when your work is so personal, and then allowing the world to view it and judge it and critique it, says artist Seren Moran. But successful artists know that their growth comes from within and not from external praise. So ask yourself, would you still make the work you made today if no one would ever see it? Would you paint or sculpt or draw that if you couldn't show it to anyone? If you're confident in your work and are on a constant journey to better yourself, then that's what matters most. Staying true to yourself will ultimately help you find success and happiness in a creative career. Number 6. They don't believe in the myth of the starving artist. We've all heard the myth of this quote-unquote starving artist, but artists who refuse to let a label dictate their fate are the ones who succeed. And they definitely don't rely on just one income source either. If you have been a professional artist for any number of years, you are probably already familiar with the slow sessions, with the flop shows, and the rained out art fairs. A huge stress when this is the only money you have coming in from your art. If you want to make a full-time living as a creative, you have to get creative. It's not enough to rely on the traditional avenues of online sales or gallery representation. Don't forget about the options like selling prints, working with interior designers, wholesaling, hosting workshops, writing ebooks, or licensing your art. The more income streams you have, the more fish you're able to catch. Number 7. They don't wait for inspiration to strike. As prolific photorealist Chuck Close simply puts it, inspiration is for amateurs. The rest of us just show up and get to work. Even successful artists show up to the studio even if they aren't feeling particularly inspired. They have a process when it comes to creating and they trust it. Even though they may not know what the outcome will be when they start, they have to trust their ability to create amazing work. Chicago artist Jordan Scott says, "Sometimes people ask, do you have days that you aren't feeling inspired? And I always say no. You have to get past that resistance and doubt and just do the work. I believe when artists cut through that, that's where the real inspiration cuts in. Cut through the resistance not by praying or hoping for it, just by working. It is more effective to wake up and get to work every day than to wait for inspiration to strike. In fact, it isn't as if you ever run out of ideas." Describing creativity, Maya Angelou says, "The more you use, the more you have." It's all about tapping into your inner artist consistently and honing your skills instead of letting quote-unquote inspiration take its time to help you create your best work. Number 8. They refuse to waste time on the admin side. Yes, to be successful as an artist, you have to stay organized on the business end of things. But no one wants to spend all of their time on boring administrative tasks. A good artist is efficient, and there are so many tools available to the artists these days, from social media scheduling and pre-designed website templates to inventory managing systems. So much more out there. So that's it for today, guys, and if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and if you have critiques or anything else to say, please comment down below. I hope you are having a great day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.